There's lots of people here that I really want to see and shake their hand. But the one that's really been on my mind are the members of his security team. Greeted by one of them today. Vigilant, on guard. TPUSA is in the Phoenix area. It's down this side street. There's about 150 employees here. The street's been blocked off for a week. You drive up to a closed road and there's a police officer in a squad car on both ends of the block. They have to ask you who you are and where you're going, and you're on a list. Later today, about 9 a.m. Pacific time, it's just a few hours away, people will start coming and walking down the street. The fence line of the building is enormous, good city block. And it's probably 10 feet deep of balloons and flowers and messages for that whole block. People coming to pay their respects. Sunday at the stadium, many of us are traveling to Phoenix. I'll be here all week. Many people are traveling from all over the country. Big names, no names. People that just want to honor him. And more encourage those who are working here to keep going. Don't stop. The light is getting stronger. It always does. We can concentrate on the darkness, but the darkness can only get darker as the light becomes stronger. Look at a shadow. In weak light, the shadow is not very bold. But as the shadows grow darker, you know the light is growing stronger. After this broadcast, I'm going over to sit in Charlie's studio. I brought something with me that I want to share with his audience. It's a conversation I never thought I would share. A conversation that happened between me and Charlie, but it's the reason why I brought this box that's sitting on this table now. Because I think his audience needs to know. In the meantime, more nonsense is going on. Yesterday, they read the text messages between the killer and the transgender boyfriend, girlfriend, friend, whatever, roommate. And I want to play it. And I want you to gauge how you feel and what you gain from hearing these what knowledge do you gain from this? Listen.
Police interviewed Robinson's roommate, a biological male who was involved in a romantic relationship with Robinson. The roommate told police that the roommate received messages from Robinson about the shooting, and he did provide those messages to police. On September 10th, 2025, the roommate received a text message from Robinson which said, "Drop what you're doing. Look under my keyboard." The roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, quote, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it." Police found a photograph of this note. The following text exchange, then took place. After reading the note, the roommate responded, "What? You're joking, right?" Robinson, "I am still okay, my love, but am stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you." Roommate, "You weren't the one who did it, right?" Robinson, I am. I'm sorry." Roommate, "I thought they caught the person." Robinson, "No, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering." Roommate, "Why?" Robinson, "Why did I do it?" Roommate, "Yeah." Robinson, "I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I am able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence."
So what do you get out of that? I mean, my first thought is, why didn't the roommate call police immediately? But then you can kind of go, well, maybe he still thought he was joking. Maybe. But it seems awfully specific. The next thing I thought was the roommate really didn't know in advance, at least according to this exchange. I get the fact that he thought he was going to get away with it. He actually, I mean, that's the sign of madness. He actually thought he would get away with it. And I was going to keep it secret till the day I die. And we get the motive. Just total hate. Total hate. Totally believing that your opinion is more valid than somebody else's. And so the only way to deal with a world like that is to snuff out somebody else's opinion. That's what I get out of it. Now, here's what ABC gets out of this. Listen.
We have seen an alleged murder with such specific text messages about the alleged murder weapon, where it was hidden, how it was placed, what was on it, but also it was very touching in a way that I think many of us didn't expect. A very intimate portrait into this relationship between the suspect's roommate and the suspect himself, with him repeatedly calling his roommate who is transitioning, calling him my love, and I want to protect you, my love. So it was this duality of someone who the attorney said not only jeopardized the life of Charlie Kirk and the crowd, but was doing it in front of children, which is one of the aggravating circumstances of this case. And on the other hand, he was, speaking so lovingly about his partner.
I didn't get that, Stu. Did you get that? Did you get how touching that was? You didn't, how romantic that was?
You didn't feel that was touching?
No, I didn't feel that was touching.
Wow, that's shocking.
Yeah.
I mean, he said my love.
Yeah, well, I know
multiple times.
Yeah, I know he did.
What's not touching about that?
Yeah.
And he also, the reporter there said something about, my job is to protect you, or doing this is to protect you.
Yeah.
That line doesn't appear in the transcript that I can find. Can you? Kind of weird, right? Like he says that as if he has knowledge of a line that we do not have knowledge of, which is also fascinating for many reasons. But no, Glenn, at the end of the day, didn't find it all that touching.
Yeah, interesting. Now that ABC News reporter is Matt Gutman. He now says, because everybody was like, Matt, that's probably a bad thing. He now says he regrets that choice of words. But does he really? Or is he just hoping just to last a couple of weeks until everybody goes back to sleep?
Do you want the quote from Matt Gutman?
Mm-hmm.
He says, "Yesterday, I tried to underscore the jarring contrast between this cold-blooded assassination of Charlie Kirk, a man who dedicated his life to public dialogue, and the personal, disturbing texts read out loud by the Utah County Attorney at the press conference. I deeply regret that my words did not make that clear, but let there be zero doubt here. I unequivocally condemn this horrific crime and the pain it caused Charlie Kirk's family, those who were forced to witness it at UVU, and the millions of people he inspired."
So you know what would make that more believable? If he wasn't working on ABC. Now, he may be honest on that. I don't know. I can't judge him. I don't know. But ABC is a cesspool. Let me give you an example. Here's Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
Listen to this. Cut 3.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
Delusional. That is legitimately delusional.
Well, can we just stop for just a second before we get to the delusional part? He's doing this in a stand-up routine. Really? Are we ready to laugh at the political assassination?
Probably 15 seconds after it.
Exactly right. Exactly right. That's how sick and deep this goes with some people. He's ready to put this into a comedy monologue. Now let's get to the delusional part. He's saying that we're so desperate to make sure that people don't associate the left with this killer, and we're doing everything we can to make sure that everybody thinks that he wasn't one of the MAGA group. Excuse me?
It's incomprehensible. Now, if you want to give the most grace possible,
go ahead. Do what we always do that the left never does for us. Go ahead.
Right. The most generous way. I mean, you have to factor in that Jimmy Kimmel is not the smartest person you're ever going to meet. But there is a... If you think about it, the way that maybe the left experienced all of this, this happens, obviously, and we know this part is true. When one of these things happens, one of the things that sadly occurs afterwards is you're hoping it's not someone from your group, right? Like you are. And so you desperately hope that this is not going to be you. And then...
hang on just a second. Is that true on the left now? I'm not sure that's entirely true.
It's a great point.
Okay.
If we could go back to the stuff we were talking about yesterday of the healthcare CEO murderer, I don't know that it is anymore.
Yes.
But if you want to go down that road, you have a sense of thinking, you hope it's not someone who is on your side, if you will. And then the news came out of this family who seems to be the opposite of this, like a conservative, potentially Republican family. And if you cut your knowledge off right there, which it seems like a lot of the people, I mean, legitimately, even people that are much more respectable.
Because it was convenient.
Well, yeah, they got what they wanted. And it was like, la, 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 I don't want to hear any more evidence. Don't tell me anything else. Of course, afterward, we, of course, understand. I mean, you'd still have to be delusional, I think, to believe it at that point. Because you had the bullets, you had the engravings on the bullets that had blatant...
we have the love exchange.
Right. So, but if you kind of tune it out there, you maybe can get to this point. Okay. The new evidence that has come out since, with his relationship with this person, with what we know from the family, who were talking about him getting more political and having a left-wing ideology, not like a guess, not like we have to put these ingredients together to see if it bakes a cake, but the actual cake is sitting in front of us with all the icing on it. Once we have that, in theory, you should update your analysis of the situation.
You're being far too generous. You're being far too generous.
Agreed.
This is why
agreed.
Jimmy Kimmel and what's his face with the dancing injections? Stephen Colbert. Why those two are just despicable human beings. They know they're lying. They know it.
Yes.
They know they are lying. That's in a monologue. That's not off the cuff.
Right.
That's not off the cuff.
And I do think that, like, the analysis I presented is probably true for some people you see online.
Not them.
Not them.
Not them.
They know.
Not them. Okay, let me explain something when we come back. Why some people can get away with that. Not these guys, but why some people get away with it and what it says about them. All right, we'll do that in just a second. First, buying or selling a home should be one of the most important and exciting moments of your life, but all too often it turns into a stress-fueled nightmare. Missed calls, bad advice, pushy sales tactics, or an agent who just treats you like another number. That's why I created Real Estate Agents I Trust. It's a free service that connects you with vetted, experienced agents who actually know your market and, more importantly, actually care about you. These are full-time professionals who've been through the good markets and bad. They know how to stage it properly, negotiate strategically. And if you're buying, they'll help you avoid overpaying and get you into the home that fits both your budget and your life. It's realestateagentsitrust.com. That's realestateagentsitrust.com. This is my company. If you're buying or selling across the street or across the country, we'll find the right real estate agent for you. Free service to you. It's realestateagentsitrust.com. Realestateagentsitrust.com. 10 seconds, station ID. So let me go back to your charitable theory here on how people work. What is the theory again, quickly?
That they were worried it was going to be someone on their side.
Uh-huh.
Evidence came out. Oh, it's a Republican family. And then, there was the theories going around. This is someone that thought he wasn't right enough.
Right.
And then once that comes out, you're like, phew, you let your guard down and stop following the updates.
So here's what the left does all the time that the right doesn't. The left truly believes that the son should pay for the sins of the father, that the family is responsible for generations back. So once you hear that the family is conservative, it doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter. My family was, in Europe during slavery. We didn't own any slaves, okay? We're lucky we weren't slaves, white slaves. We were poor and everything else. We didn't have anything to do with it at all. And yet, I'm somehow, because I'm white, responsible for it. It's not my family. Not my family. And by the way, even if it was my family, not me. They don't separate you from the family. And it's fascinating because they think the family is the root of all evil. They're trying to destroy the family. Well, who are you going to blame when you destroy the family? Who are you going to blame? Because then you got to blame the individual for their actions. But I think that's why they can legitimately in their head just shut it off. Oh, well, it's a conservative family. Because it's always the family. It's always the sins of the father.
But all the groups on the left that these people are involved in are inoculated from all this. Like, that association only goes so far, apparently, when it benefits them.
This is Glenn Beck.
Your safety and the safety of your family are among the absolute top priorities in life. And when you start thinking about safety, the best thing you can do is give yourself as many options as possible. I carry a gun. I carry a gun. I used to carry it all the time. I carry a gun now every day again because I will put you down. Now, usually I have been carrying my Byrna launcher, but Wednesday changed all of that for me. Guns are great, and it's really important. But a Byrna launcher, my daughter and my son and my wife, I want to make sure they're carrying a Byrna launcher because they could be someplace where they're just getting caught in a crowd. They're just getting caught someplace, and they're at a gas station in the middle of the night, and all of a sudden some guys start approaching. Well, I want them to be able to put those guys down on the ground without killing them. It's easy to use. There are no background checks. There's no permits required. It is legal in all 50 states. It's Byrna, BYRNA.com/Glenn. Learn more about it right now at Byrna.com/Glenn. Go there now. Try before you buy at Sportsman's Warehouse. Find one near you at Byrna.com/Glenn.
We're raising money for Charlie Kirk's family. Please donate if you can. GiveSendGo.com/912project.
Welcome to the Glenn Beck Program. We have Chip Roy on with us. Chip is the Republican congressman from Texas, also candidate for Texas Attorney General, and we couldn't get a better Attorney General than Chip Roy. Chip, I want to talk to you a little bit about what the New York Times is saying, and a gross overreach that we are now targeting the Democrats, and we're using Charlie Kirk's death as a political tool by going after some of these NGOs and looking into who might be funding different things. Can you respond to that?
Well, I think they're afraid. That's the truth, Glenn. They don't want us to pursue the truth. They don't want us to expose to the American people the broad, extensive, coordinated network of radical leftists, Marxists, that are funding all of this. Now, they think we're trying to say, you're saying they funded the shooting of Charlie Kirk. Well, we'll let the authorities go investigate this and follow the law wherever it may lead. But what I am saying is that radical, organized, coordinated group are purposely undermining our values and our way of life, whether it's the border and all of the funding of the NGOs and all of the organizations, including, by the way, a lot of charities masquerading as faith organizations that were dumping people into our country, harming our citizens. American citizens died, fentanyl poured into our streets. The organized funding, like the Wren Collective, that is tied to these radical DAs and Soros-funded prosecutors, judges that are letting criminals out on the street, then endanger us, that resulted directly in the death of the Ukrainian refugee that we all saw in that horrific video, leading up to, obviously, the loss of Charlie. But the radicalization of our schools, the radicalization of all of this stuff with the transgender efforts, all of that is not just some fanciful, weird unicorn hippie crap. It's actually a coordinated effort to target Western civilization and our belief system. And they don't want us to pursue it. We must pursue it. And that's why I put forward a letter calling on the formation of a select committee designed to focus on it. Now, look, if we want to run that all under judiciary or oversight, fine. I mean, Speaker Johnson and Jim Jordan and Jamie Comer, they're all great friends, however we want to do it. The purpose of the letter is to say we must do it. It can't just be left to Cash and the FBI and to Pam Bondi and to the administration. Congress has to do our job to expose to the American people this broad network that is radicalized against our way of life.
We just to go through some of them. 2012, terrorist attack against a conservative Christian think tank, the Family Research Council. We know somebody went in there and just shot everybody up. Steve Scalise shot at the Republican practice for the congressional baseball game. The guy he's a Bernie Sanders fan, wanted to kill everybody on the diamond, all of the Republicans. Rand Paul attacked by a crazy lefty on his own lawn. Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh almost assassinated. President Trump nearly assassinated, not once, but twice, both lefties. And now Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And, I think a lot of this... Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I want to point out one thing there. Take an organization like the Southern Poverty Law Center. They have their heat map, right, that is directed to saying that we've got our folks who are hate organizations or, somehow a threat. And they put all that out there trying to radicalize their people. Guess who was on that list? The Family Research Council, which you just pointed out, was shot up by a radicalized individual right here in Washington, D.C., where a security guard got shot. Charlie Kirk was on the Southern Poverty Law Center's targeted heat map and basically putting a target on Charlie Kirk. So all of these things are coordinated, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just wanted people to understand each one of these things are connected.
You have a lot of it also that is connected directly to schools. I mean, Arabella Advisors, you look at what these guys are doing in conjunction, just raising money and dumping it into these far left wings. I mean, Chip, I've been on this since Tides Foundation was, something new and breaking news. This is a long-running practice of the left, and it has to stop. It has to stop because they're not only taking the money that they're raising and fomenting revolution, color revolution in our own country, but they also have found a way to our tax dollars. And so these same organizations are getting our tax dollars to do the same.
Glenn, when I've followed you for a long time, and you and I have now known each other for a long time, and the thing that I've always admired about what you've done is try to explain to the American people, even dating back to some of your TV days, where you go out there and you have the big whiteboards, right, connecting the dots. And this is where I think Congress has been missing it, and Republican Congress. And we do a lot of good stuff. Okay, I mean, look, we've been working hard, and the big beautiful bill and all the stuff I've been talking about, good and bad. There's some good, some bad. You got to herd cats. I get it. But we have not done a sufficient job, in my opinion, of exposing this organized, coordinated effort. And by the way, that is directly tied to what we were articulating a couple of years ago when we went through the speaker's fight, and we were demanding that we create a sort of weaponization select committee. We ended up sticking it under the Judiciary Committee, and we did some things, but the purpose there to me is much bigger and bolder than we've ever done. I believe we need to step on the gas. I believe that we need to expose that coordinated network and the weaponization of government that is tied to it. That's the key element here, right? All of those groups fomenting hate and targeting our people. And I don't mean fomenting hate like hate speech. That's a garbage principle, by the way. And I hope the Attorney General is backing away from talking about, quote, hate speech. That's a leftist, tyrannical terminology. We don't police thoughts. But the focus, when you've got a hate map, that's a political tool of the left to say that, yeah, Charlie Kirk, he's a hater, and the Family Research Council is a hater. Why? Because we believe in Jesus, and we believe in Western civilization. We believe in marriage. We believe in families. We believe in responsibility and work ethic and Western civilization. They want to target it and go after it, and they use government to attack us for it. They use government to undermine the Trump administration. They use government to target law-abiding citizens and things like the FACE Act, if you dared pray in an abortion clinic. And I could go on and on. That's the coordinated effort we need to do a better job of exposing. That's what my letter was all about.
I was on a conference call yesterday with a bunch of leaders on the right, and we were discussing things that need to happen, and I brought up some things that can't happen. I said, I hope that we are all watchdogs here, that we don't go too far, that we don't have a Patriot Act, because right now the passions are running very, very high. And we don't want another Patriot Act. We cannot afford another Patriot Act. I want to make sure that we're doing everything constitutionally correct, not getting into some sort of thing that we're all going to regret down the road. Is this all constitutional? Is this all right in line with... Are you opening up a can of worms that when the other side gets a hold of this, we're going to pay for it?
Well, so I couldn't agree more, actually. And keep in mind what we're talking about is what I'm talking about. Not a law, not a additional crime, not a statute that's going to be enforced against people. It's about saying we need to put together hearings with subpoenas and call people forward and paint a picture for the American people. Look, we do that anyway. All this, that's oversight. That's our job in Congress. But we just need to do it with focus. My point is, and I think you agree, we just need to do it better. And we just need to expose this radicalized network that's against our way of life. People are going to say, oh, Chip, that's McCarthyism. No, I want to seek truth wherever it may lead. I believe, and I've seen significant evidence of these coordinated activities. Let's go see it. If George Soros is just sitting on an island throwing money into the wind to get people elected, he is within his rights to do so. If some organization wants to speak out and say they don't like our country or they don't believe in Jesus, they are free to do so. But when you are coordinating all of that, and these organizations are masquerading as things they are not, and when they are then using that to foment the kind of violence and things that are directed at our way of life, or putting criminals on the streets, or putting gang members in our neighborhoods, or funneling fentanyl into our communities because it's a political operation, because they want more voters, well, that's a real problem. And that's undermining our security, and it needs to be exposed, must be exposed, and then we can go deal with it. But I couldn't agree more. We should not react. Like, I'll give you an example. we were debating yesterday in the Rules Committee a small provision that was added to the continuing resolution to add additional security for executive branch, judiciary, and then, yes, legislative branch officials. It was about $88 million of funding. Now, that's not huge in our budgetary scheme, sadly, but I raised the question, guys, how are we paying for this? How is this going to work? Like, sure, security, but we shouldn't react and throw everything out because we're just, oh, my God, we're in a panic. This happened. This is terrible. Like, we should follow our normal procedures, make reasoned collective judgments about what is good for the country. And I believe the country deserves to know the truth about organizations they think are innocent that are out there fomenting a lot of the things that are undermining their liberty, their security, their way of life.
Talking to Chip Roy, who's running for Texas Attorney General. He is currently a congressman, one of the best congressmen in Washington. Let me switch gears. How long do you think this is going to last, this at least attempt at unity? Especially after what you saw happen with Luigi Mangione in court yesterday. People in the courtroom cheered when they said, they had to throw out the murder in the first degree charge. They cheered.
Well, I don't really put much stock in whatever people are saying about, quote, unity at the moment, whether that's unity that people are saying we need to unite across our ideologies or even within, frankly, the Republican Party per se. Unity without purpose that are binding us together under a shared set of values is not unity. Like, what are we united to do and accomplish? I said this in so much in the letter that we can't force being bound together. You are bound together based on your commitment to a shared belief system. And you either believe in Western civilization, believe in God, believe that our Western civilization is built on those principles, or you don't.
Chip, as always, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Keep up the good work.
God bless you, Glenn. Take care.
You bet. All right, Chip Roy. All right, let me tell you about our sponsor this half hour. Our sponsor is Z Factor. The world just doesn't ever slow down, not when you're tired. And, you got a meeting tomorrow, and certainly, not when your mind is racing, your body's wired, and the clock's ticking slowly towards midnight. Sleep is not a luxury. It is not optional. It is foundational. If you're not getting it, you feel it, your mood, your energy, in your memory, your immune system. This is when your body resets. And Z-Factor was designed to help you take sleep seriously again. It's a natural sleep aid, and it's from the makers of Relief Factor. It's formulated to help you fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and wake up feeling clear-headed and not groggy. No prescriptions, no hangovers, just real restful sleep, the way your body wants to sleep. And finally, when it gets the support it needs, you'll feel it. I'm telling you, when you start sleeping well again, it's like somebody turned the volume back up on your life. Try Z-Factor. Rest like you mean it. First-time Z-Factor buyer is going to get 46% savings, $19.95 for a 30-day supply. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 800, the number 4, RELIEF. That's 800, the number 4, RELIEF.
You ever seen a liberal's hands? Smoother than a snake on oil. Guess they're more worried about the meaning of the word retarded than the word work. Glenn Beck will be right back.
If you've ever tried so-called healthy breads and bagels from the grocery store, you probably know the experience. They look fine on the shelf, but the moment you bite in, it's like chewing on recycled cardboard. If you've ever tried this, you've been there. And it's funny, not too long ago, bread was like the hero of the food pyramid, and now it's like evil. We were told at one point to pile it high and build every meal upon it and load up on the carbs. And these days, obviously, the opposite is true. Protein is in the spotlight, and carbs have been exiled to the naughty list. Suddenly, bread is treated like it's public enemy number one. But it does not have to be that way. The bakers over at Royo have cracked the code with breads and bagels that are healthy and taste great. Every loaf, every bagel is baked fresh daily using clean, minimal ingredients that you can actually pronounce. They're high in fiber, they're high in protein, and they're lower in carbs. Some of them come in at just like 2 net carbs. Just nothing, basically. And it means you don't have to feel guilty about enjoying the foods that you love. Imagine starting your morning with a bagel that actually keeps you energized throughout the day without the crash. You can build a sandwich with bread that actually tastes indulgent but keeps you on track for however you're trying to eat. It's the magic of Royo. You're going to love this stuff. You got to go to eatroyo.com, eatroyo.com. Use the promo code BLAZE. You get 20% off right now. The promo code is BLAZE, eatroyo.com. You're going to love this stuff. eatroyo.com.
Welcome to the Glenn Beck Program. Pat Gray is joining us now from the studios in Dallas. Hello, Pat.
Hello, Glenn. Stu, welcome.
Thank you.
So
we're in the studios of Turning Point USA in Phoenix, Arizona today. I'm going to be filling in for Charlie in just about 2 hours from now. What is your take on all of this?
Oh, well, like everybody else is just devastated. It's been incredible to see the impact it's had on my family. Everybody in the family just devastated by it.
Everybody.
Just absolutely devastated. Yeah, for somebody they've never met, but watched a lot, I mean, they really felt a powerful connection to him. He really made a difference. Yeah. I mean, he
made
really
a huge
cut
difference
through
in my children's life.
Yeah.
And I don't know about your wife or your wife, Pat, but my wife cannot stop with the Erica stuff. She just can't stop. She's watching all of everything. She just can't stop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, honey, don't show it to me. I can't do it. Well, I just can't do it. It's so hard.
I know. And we were playing some of what Erica said in that video on Monday, and I could barely keep it together. It's so difficult to see her in these circumstances. It's been really tough, really, really tough. And then, to see the other side of it has just been one of the most incredible things I've ever witnessed. We've never seen anything like this. I've never seen people rejoice. I mean, you had a little of that with the Mangione thing, with the Luigi thing where he shot the UHC CEO. Still have some of that. But I've never seen anything to this extent. And it just doesn't make any sense to me, except it's somebody that stood for things they just hate. Christianity.
Imagine what they would be saying about all of us if we reacted this way and it was the opposite.
Oh, my gosh.
And it never would.
Oh,
never would.
No.
Pat, do you agree with the take that the healthcare CEO murderer is a precursor to this? I kind of feel like it is.
So, yeah.
Like, I feel like the way he was embraced with open arms, I think, created several more of these situations.
It's exactly the same with the crime. If you're not punished for burning down a city, it just increases the odds that Antifa is going to burn down cities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're incentivizing this every single step of the way. And I don't think they're stopping. I really don't. I pray that the unity that we have right now on the right, on principles, continues the way it is. I pray that this isn't just like after 9/11, a week, and then it just goes back to normal.